how else has life changed for you? Because let's face it, this fund you did back then, which I think was a $8 million fund or something, or maybe it was a $10 million fund, but you only called down 7 or 8 million of it. I know a lot of inside information about it from not you essentially, but from a lot of the LPs.
Well, that makes me feel good.
Yeah, I don't think you're not out there like telling people these details, but just so people are clear in the audience, since they know we're friendly, a lot of your LPs talk to me, obviously, and like a lot of people are pretty excited about having been an LP in this fund. I don't know what the name of that fund was, but I know that it was somewhere between a $6 and $8 million fund, and now the returns on that fund are in the billions, like $2 billion or something. Is that generally broad strokes correct?
Yeah, sure.
Does this make it the greatest fund ever in the history of Silicon Valley, or is like Coastal had one, I believe, that had some crazy return too, and obviously the Google fund for Sequoia. Do you know, because they do keep track of these things in databases, where that fund sits in the history of Silicon Valley?
You should ask the people who take care of, keep track of those databases. But
right, but you're an LP in a bunch of other funds. It's unprecedented.
The reason you hear about it from your friends is because so many of them were my friends. Because when you go out to raise your first fund, the big banks and stuff that want to write you checks, it's your friends who actually make it happen. And so this, what I do wouldn't have been possible without real relationships with great people I'd worked with, people I'd gotten to know, who were willing to put, in some cases, material amounts of money for them to work here. And it makes me super happy that that has played out well for them. I mean, our funds have had Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that, and Heroku, stuff that's paid the bills like that. And obviously stuff like Uber that I think is still on its way.
It could be 1,000x fund. It's 500x now. Is that right?
I mean, that's just, again, you're just clutching at straws right now. I love it.
I'm triangulating here.
This is like a Kara Swisher style. It's not. It doesn't suit you that well.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'm just very excited for you. I'll be honest.
The presumptive question.
So when you do something like that, is there a follow-up problem? I mean, here's the thing.
Yeah, there's a follow-up problem. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, explain this.
Our second fund is somewhere around like an 11 or 12x, and people are a little let down by that.
Yeah, only returned 10 times their money when the market would have returned 8% a year.
I shit you not. And I don't say that as like a humble brag about that return. I literally say it as like a true-to-life problem. People give a shit because it's only tracking to do, over 10x.
It is a...
And our third fund is, I think it's already like 1.5. It's like a year old, and I think it's 1.5 or 2, and people are kind of asking what's going on.
When are we going to make 500x our money? How does
it really happens? The expectations are kind of ridiculous.
When you look at this business that we're in, this angel investing, early stage investing, because you're early stage still.
Yeah.
You remain early stage.
Yeah.
It is a little mind-blowing because you can work exceptionally hard on 10 funds, and one defines your career. And these funds take 7 years to play out.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's kind of it's a rigged game. I mean, if I have a couple of funds lose, and we've never had a fund come even close to losing, but if I have a couple of funds lose, nobody really blames me, and then they'll only focus on the ones that I hit out of the park, right?
Right.
I mean, some of those guys you've mentioned earlier have lost a lot of money for people, and no one brings it up.
Right.
It's just it's pretty easy to be a VC in terms of reputational management, as long as you're not a fraud, and as long as you're not. You don't build a reputation for doing bad things to people from the money side. Like, it's a cult of personality, and it's not that hard to manage for most of these people. If you look at the industry as a whole, it generally loses money, right? And the amount of money it loses is equivalent to the fees that the VCs take out of it. Like, if you just look at the macro level, there are these funds that perpetually do well. If you were to invest in all of the Sequoia funds or all the Excel funds or all the KP funds, you do well. But along the way, they definitely have vehicles that are underwater. And people don't hold against them, and take it personally. And so